Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the Elevate with Erica podcast. I'm your host, Erica. I did everything I was told to do in order to have a great life, but it turned out not feeling so great. I did the things in the order they said: college, job, marriage, kids, buying a home, but I wasn't happy. I was stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, unfulfilled, tired, and I knew there had to be more to life than wishing away the week until Friday. I surrounded myself with people who were proof there was more to life than the one I was living, and that's what I'm here to do for you and with you. Do you need the inspiration to make big moves to create a life that gets you excited? Are you ready to elevate past your fears? Then elevate with Erica. Grab a bottle and get comfy, friends. It's time for some unfiltered advice. Welcome back to another episode of Elevate with Erica. I don't even know what I'm going to title this episode yet, but I'm just going to start talking and let it flow. So yes, guys, this is another unscripted episode. If you follow me on social media and have been watching my stories on Instagram or Facebook, you know that I celebrated my birthday for an entire week last week. So I kind of knew leading up to the week that it was my first chance to really step away from the business and just breathe and just do things that I wanted to do. So I had planned out to kind of just make it coincide with the fact that my birthday was going to fall on a Saturday. My birthday is on July 31st, so it's a beautiful time of year too. I'm very fortunate in that way. And I had just planned to kind of wing it each day, but definitely not spend every day working 8 hours like I normally do. So I can tell you that about 2 days in, I started to feel like a failure. If I'm not producing, I feel like I'm failing. I really thought that I could just relax because I have seen so much success with this business that I'm building from home. And I do see my dreams becoming a reality. And I never see myself in the corporate world again. I thought I could just, have fun, and not think about work for a minute, even though I am so passionate about what I do and I love what I do. You can still get burnt out doing things you love. You still need a break, right? Like, take our kids, for example. I love being a mom. I love being around my boys. But even we mamas need breaks sometimes, right? I wanted to give myself that with this job because growing my business requires that I show up on social media. Social media is a business tool for me, and I take full advantage. And so I can tell you, if you've ever hung around me in the past year and a half, I'm documenting on Instagram while we're hanging out, or I'm messaging people back. It has its good and bad sides, right? Like, the great thing is that I can meet so many amazing people and be a part of so many women's lives as I expose them to this amazing home fitness platform that I partner with. The bad thing is that my work is literally always at my fingertips. So it's funny because like my husband and my mom, they'll say, hey, did you see, so-and-so posted this or so-and-so posted that? Like a family member shared something on Facebook, or my husband will tell me about like a friend that posted something, somebody's expecting a baby or something. Did you see that? No, I didn't, because I'm not on social media to do those kinds of things. When I'm on social media, I'm working, so I don't just do the mindless scrolling. And so my point in that is just to further say, I always feel like I'm working, because at any second, somebody could message me and say, hey, I'm ready to dive all in on my fitness. And When someone makes that kind of decision, I just get filled with so much excitement for them. Like, that is such a huge decision to make. And I want to stop whatever I am doing and help them begin their journey right then while they feel that fire in their belly to just jump in with me. But also, I'm going to be real with you guys, because I always am on these podcast episodes. I left a job where I was making damn good money last year. I left for a dream that I had in my heart. I left for a gut feeling. I left for a pull at my soul. But nobody else can feel those things. Nobody can see those things because those are my visions, right? And so when I left, as I've mentioned before, I told my husband, because he was losing a huge part of our household income, that I would not ask for anything of him, that I would not interfere with his finances, because he was uneasy about what I was doing. And I knew at that point that financially I was not going to have his support. And so I have been doing what it takes to make this vision a reality on my own, paying the same bills I was at that huge, huge salary with what I'm making now. And don't get me wrong, my work that I'm putting in is paying off, but there is so much pressure on me to make this happen. I want it so bad as well. And I know that those things contribute to why I feel like when I'm not producing, I'm failing, on top of the fact that that's already in my personality, on top of the fact that I'm already an overachiever and a Enneagram 3, right? Now I have this dream that I'm building from scratch alone. And if I am not signing people on as coaches or challengers, if I am not adding to my business, then I am not producing any income. That is the bottom line, right? So it's hard for me to stop. It's not this guaranteed biweekly paycheck. What I get paid depends on the work I put in. And that's something I've had a hard time getting my husband to understand. The pressure, even though I love what I'm doing, is something very challenging to carry alone. Like, even just now, there's a recall that I need to have done, taken care of on my truck. He's like, you need to go take care of that today. And I'm like, I don't have time. And he looks at me like I have 4 heads. Like, what do you mean you don't have time? And I know it sounds crazy, and I know I need to go take care of that. But at the same time, a part of me is like, no, like, I have business goals that I have to meet. Otherwise, the gig is up, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to bring in the income that I need, and I'm going to have to tell you that I can't financially do this. I want you guys to understand that pressure. And the reason I decided to do this topic today is because I have learned through this podcast and through sharing my life on my social media posts and stories that I make the best connections when I'm vulnerable. That's when I find out that I'm not alone. That's when other people can find out that they aren't alone. And even though you may not be feeling those feelings over my particular problem, maybe you can relate to these feelings over something you're going through. I know that in my first marriage, when we had that first baby, we were young and so much resentment was created because I felt so alone because of the roles that society places on like what is acceptable for a mom to do and what's acceptable for a dad to do and when they're supposed to be present and who's going to be up with the baby all night. Meanwhile, I'm working full time, getting my master's at night, breastfeeding a baby who will not stop throwing up. Like it was a nipples bleeding, stressful, crying in that rocking chair kind of time. And that was because I placed this pressure on myself to feel what I thought a mother was supposed to do, how a mother was supposed to be. And maybe you can relate to the feelings I'm sharing around my business to your motherhood journey, to feeling like a pressure that you're carrying alone. And it feels like no one understands you, right? And you just want a break. And so that was my gift to myself last week. The thing is, when people don't understand the pressure, they also don't understand why you need a break, right? So not only last week did I have a hard time taking time off from the business and feeling like I was failing for doing it, and my husband also did not understand at all what the hell I was doing. And I know that I was funny and I labeled it on social media that I was celebrating my birthday for 7 days, but it was really so much more than that. It was really just about me trying to take a breath, and I used my birthday as an excuse, but just to celebrate how far I've come. And man, was it freaking harder than hell. It was harder than my busiest week working. So there was a day, I believe it was Wednesday. If you follow my stories, you'll recall this. I decided mid-morning, after I had gotten up early that day, gotten a lot of work done, went and picked my boys up from their dads. And I decided, you know what? I said I was going to take a break this week. I got to pull myself away from work. And if you know me well, sometimes even when I pull myself away from work, I'm still working, right? Because I'm still sharing on social media my life and answering any messages that come in. So anyway, I decided to take the boys to the beach. And also, hey, mamas and single parents, it's super hard to take your kids to the beach, even with two adults, let alone by yourself. Especially if you're going to Ocean City and carrying all of the chairs and the toys and the food and the snacks and boogie boards and sand toys by yourself with an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, right? Like you sweat, honey. It's not easy. I took them out there for about 5 hours. They bickered for about the first 2 over who was going to use what board, and then if one was going to go out with the other, and then how long they had to wait for their sunblock to sit, and then the water's too choppy, we can't use our boards, and it was stressful. I'm like, why are we even here, right? But then they finally made a friend, and they went and played for a couple hours before we left. I took them for ice cream, so forth. While they were playing in the water, what's Mama doing? Well, guilty as charged. I do have my phone at my fingertips, which is also my work at my fingertips. So I did get some work done. But I was on the beach, right? My toes were in the sand. I was kind of relaxing. Yeah. Later on that evening, my husband gets home from work, and I'm rushing to make dinner. Haven't showered, got sand in my britches, all the things. Getting the kids cleaned up before they sit on the furniture and get sand everywhere, putting away all the beach stuff alone, making dinner and cleaning up dinner by myself. And my husband and I just got into a heated discussion that night. And he said something that was extremely eye-opening for me. And I'm not putting it here to tell you my business. I'm putting it here because I have a lesson at the end of it. So know that. He said, "Well, what have you done all day? You just sat at the beach." And let me tell you something. I definitely said something angry back, right? It was a you cut me, I'll cut you moment. It wasn't our best moment as a couple. But that, again, made me feel like I was failing. And this is 3 days into my quote-unquote vacay from work, guys. 3 days. I'm already being hard on myself by Tuesday. Here comes my husband with his dagger on Wednesday. My birthday is not even till Saturday. It was a struggle. It was a struggle of a week. And I apologize right now for presenting it on social media as if it was some big party week, for covering up with smiles and laughter, because we all know that social media is just a highlight reel, right? So I'm being honest with you guys now and letting you know that those were the hardest 6 days I've had in a long time. And I was so relieved the day after my birthday to just have a slow, normal day and know that I was going to be getting back to work the next day. And I have felt more fulfilled these last 3 days, being back to doing what I love and feeling like I have a purpose and producing and working with women and helping change their lives than I ever could doing anything else. So I have 2 things I hope you guys can take away from this episode. 1, people don't know what you're going through if you don't tell them. And we expect this support from our loved ones as if they can read our mind. And we try to carry so much on our shoulders when people are dying to help us. Remember that episode I did on asking for help? I told you I don't do an episode I don't myself need to hear. This is me and you, girlfriend. When my husband said that to me about the beach, I had to take some time away and reflect. And what I took is, whether he wants to hear it or not, I need to clue him in on more of what I'm doing. I need to tell him about my day the same way I would tell him about my day at the corporate job. I need to clue him in on my vision and what I see happening with this business I'm creating, so that he has the opportunity to understand what I'm carrying every day. And so he has the opportunity to believe in me. I'm not giving him the chance to. And also, the other thing I hope you can take from this episode is that we have to stop not allowing ourselves to rest. We're busy, right? We're doing all the things. We're so proud of ourselves. We're trying to be like the best mom ever, the best wife ever. We're going to cook dinner today. We're going to do all the laundry. We're going to clean the house. You're going to burn out. It's so hard to chill, isn't it? Like, I'm struggling. That's what this episode is about. I want to learn how to rest. It's something I'm going to work on for the second half of this year, and maybe you need to do that with me. I would love to have you do it with me. And if you connected with that at all, you know you can always shoot me a private message on social media and let's talk about it, girlfriend, because, girl, I tried for 6 days last week to rest and I couldn't do it. So let's do this together. I literally want to spend a night on the couch, totally mentally, totally everything checked out from work and any financial obligations, and just veg out. You hear me, you pretty woman people? You know what veg out means, right? We're going to lay like vegetables. And then I want to wake up in the morning and not feel like I missed a beat. Not feel like I'm behind, not feel like I missed anything, not feel like I'm failing. I still want to feel like a badass businesswoman, an amazing wife, a wonderful caring mom, not like I'm failing, not like I missed anything. Do you ever go on vacation, mamas, and you start to feel guilty, like I should be taking my kids with me, or I shouldn't be leaving them this long? And you put all this pressure on yourself, like you don't deserve that break. You don't have to be 100% all the time to be an amazing mother. We are imperfect people. I don't want that pressure on my shoulders anymore. And I don't want you to feel that either. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I know this wasn't my usual hype podcast. And I know I got real and raw and honest with you guys for a minute. but I hope you guys can understand my message. I hope you guys can take away something from it, and I hope that you found something in here that was relatable to you. And as always, if you connected with someone or know somebody who could connect with this message, please shoot it to them and let them feel the vibe of Elevate with Erica too. And if you decide to share this on your social media, don't forget to tag me so that I can personally thank you. All right, raise your glasses, guys. Let's cheers. Cheers to taking time, to taking care of ourselves, to giving ourselves permission to unplug and regroup without feeling guilty, because we can't be there for others if we can't be there for ourselves first. Until next episode, friends. E.